Hello.
Hello.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, so let us start.
Start.
So my screen is visible, right?
Yes.
Okay, so last time we completed till August. Okay, so we'll move on July. So focus on right side. So SC nullifies post 31 March 31 sale of BS4 vehicles, bars registration of such vehicles. Okay, so as you know that no BS6 implementation was underway. So no, it is nullified the. I think many automakers had requested that please, give us some time to sell BS4 vehicles also. I think it has not given. Okay, it has nullified the sale of BS4 post March 31. So it bars registration of such vehicles. So if you see, SE recalled its March 27 order, which allowed. What happened was, if you remember, it was supposed to be implemented from 1st April, right? But it allowed some 10% sale at that time, okay, because lockdown was underway and so and so it allowed sale of 10% for 10 days after lockdown, first lockdown. So in areas in areas except Delhi NCR, after noting that the automobile dealers sold such vehicles during lockdown in violation of the order. Okay, so following the recall of the order, a bench comprising so and so held that such vehicles sold during lockdown should not be treated as sold, and the consideration received should be refunded to purchasers. The court also ordered that no such vehicles sold after March 31 should be registered. Okay, I mean, broadly, I mean, for this issue, we must revise BS4 versus BS6, I believe. Okay, nothing to add.
Correct.
Yeah, so we'll move on. Sri Padmanabha Swami temple case. So this case, famous, richest temple in India. SC upholds the Shaibite rights of erstwhile royal family of Travancore. So this word Shaibite rights, will always be in use because they have their right, because the family is maintaining that treasury from a very, such a long generation. So if you come across this word Shaibite rights, it is related to the temple trust. Okay, so if you see, the SE upheld the rights of erstwhile royal family of Travancore in the administration of Sri Padmanabha Swami Temple at Tirunantapuram, allowing the appeal filed by members of Travancore family. A bench of justices so and so reserved the finding of High Court of Kerala that the rights of family ceased. Okay, High Court was telling that rights of family. Just a minute. High Court was telling that the rights of family ceased to exist with the death of the last ruler of Travancore. Okay, that was High Court's view, but no, SC has upheld their Shaibite rights. So that death of last ruler will not result in a sheet of the rights in favor of the government. Okay, so this is important because it directly hits to the fundamental rights. I think 26. I think 26 or something. There's mention of managing the temple trust by some group. So for this, we have to revise that fundamental right. Okay, go back to Shibite, broadly those things. Mm,
Yes. Religious denomination.
ha,
Right.
yes, yes. Okay, so that's about it. And maybe Padmanabha Swami Temple, small introductory paragraph about it from maybe Wikipedia or somewhere. Okay, so we'll move on. See, 2018 Karnataka law granting reservation in promotion for SC/ST uh, government employees constitutionally valid. Okay, so Karnataka had granted reservation in promotion for SC/ST government employees. So this is constitutionally valid, is what Supreme Court has said. The SC dismissed a review petition filed against its judgment. BK Pavitra. This is a famous case actually. Okay, BK Pavitra, it was an old case against its judgment in BK Pavitra Union of India that upheld the constitutional validity of Karnataka extension of consequential seniority to government servants promoted on the basis of reservation. So they were promoted on the basis of reservation. So reservation promotion is the issue to the post in this. Okay, dismissing the review petition, the bench comprising so and so observed. So this is the court just observe. We have gone through the contents of the review petition. Every ground urged in the review petition has been addressed on its merits in judgment. Okay, fine, nothing much. So just that reservation in promotion for SC/ST government employees has been upheld. So if you see, there is a article directly. I think 16 clause. four.
Four.
Ha. So directly gives reservation promotion. So same has been upheld, right? So for this, maybe we have to revise reservation in promotion, that issue specifically.
Even Indra Sani also addressed.
Ha.
It said, I guess, no reservation should be there in promotion. So that also we have to look.
Correct, correct, right. So that series from Indra Sawhney, Nagaraj, Jarnail Singh, maybe include this also. BK Pavitra, maybe we have to look up what was this. So I think that's it. So we'll move on. So SC sets up commission headed by ex Supreme Court Judge Justice B.S. Chauhan to probe Vikas Dubey encounter. So no, we know these encounters keep happening. So to probe the encounter, SC has set up a commission headed by ex Supreme Court judge. So the bench of Chief Justice approved the constitution of an inquiry commission headed by B.S. Chauhan, is a former Supreme Court judge, to probe the genuineness of encounter killing. So that's what no, police reforms or encounter killings. So that issue comes up here. Significantly, a plea was filed before SC, alleging that Justice Chauhan has close connections of the judge with the ruling BJP government. Okay, fine. Same came to be dismissed on August 19th as unsubstantiated and devoid of merit. Fine. So, I mean, nothing much. This is a passing news. So, nothing much, I believe. But the issue of police reforms, that continues. Okay, encounter killings, basically. Maybe encounter killings in ethics or some that dimension also we can see. Can move on. So, yeah, we've completed July. Okay, so next we'll move to June. Yeah, I think June there's only one, so not much time. So High Court. So I'm beginning June. Okay, High Court cannot convert itself into Court of Appeal while considering petitions under 227. So again, this article no, has come up 226 and 227. So High Court cannot convert itself into Court of Appeal. It cannot do so. No, it cannot become a court of appeal while considering petitions under 227. So just if you see 227, 227 is power
Subject.
power of superintendence over all courts by High Court. Okay, High Court has the power over the subordinate courts. This is 227 broadly. So if you see here, SC reiterated that while hearing a petition under 227 of the Constitution, a High Court cannot convert itself into a court of appeal. So this broad thinking we must have that it cannot convert itself into a court of appeal. A bench of judges so and so observed that High Court ignored the legal position. So there's a position already given in the judgment. High Court ignored the legal position expounded in the judgment of Achal Mishra versus Ram Shankar Singh, wherein it was specifically held that even if a party does not challenge the vacancy order by way of writ petition, it is still open to it to challenge the same order along with the final order passed under. Okay, this is very specific something. Okay, some you know legal issue going on, but broader issue we must remember is High Court cannot convert itself into a court of appeal under 227. Okay, so I think there's only one in June. So we'll move on to May. Okay, so moving on to May, Surface Act applicable to cooperative banks. So this we know this was in news. So Surface Act has become applicable to cooperative banks also. So SC Constitution bench has told us the cooperative banks under state legislation and multi-state cooperative banks are banks under Section 2, Clause 1C of Securitization and Reconstruction of Financial Assets and Enforcement of Security Interest Act. Okay, so under Surface Act, cooperative banks under the state legislation and multi-state cooperative banks. So they are also under the Surface Act. Okay, this we must broadly remember. So the bench unanimously held that Parliament had the legislative competence to bring. Okay, Parliament had this competence to bring cooperative banks under the ambit of Surface Act. So it thus rejected the argument that the 2013 amendment to Surface Act adding multi-state. Okay, in 2013 amendment they added this term multi-state cooperative bank in section 2. It was a colorable exercise of power. There's doctrine of colorable legislation also. That doctrine also,
Correct.
what parliament cannot do directly, it cannot do indirectly, right? So that thing also it is trying to tell. So this act of introducing this was not it rejected this argument, right, that it was not colorable excess of power. It also upheld the 2003 notification issued under the Banking Regulation Act, by which cooperative bank was brought within the class of banks entitled to seek recourse to the provisions of SURFACE. Okay, so I think broadly for this revision of SURFACE Act, cooperative bank, some static provisions revision. Apart from that, this
And this is very important.
yeah, doctrine of colorable legislation revision. Maybe since new ministry, that cooperative thing aspect, no, that is a broader theme. If you see running cooperative Ministry of Cooperation, all such themes, so that becomes important. So moving on, SC to monitor beautification of the 18th century garden Sisodia Rani Ka Bagh. Okay, so SC is monitoring this. So it becomes important for us to know from the art and culture perspective. So no, it is monitoring the beautification of this garden Sisodia Rani Ka Bagh. I don't remember reading this in NCRT. So SC sets aside NGT ban on social functions there. Okay, so if you see, while setting aside the blanket ban, blanket ban was imposed by NGT on organizing social functions like marriages and other events in Sisodia Rani Ki Bagh. Okay, it is in Rajasthan. Okay, so 18th century historical site near Rajasthan, Jaipur. Where see a bench of judges so and so held that the monument may be used. Okay, the monument may be used for multi-purpose activities between. Okay, it has put a time limit. You can come and visit, do such activities. Court also said that it will monitor. Okay, it will monitor the beautification and developmental works of the site. I think for this, nothing much. We just need to look up on this Sisodia Ranika Bagh, like who constructed and such things. Maybe that's it. Okay. So already we know that it's in Rajasthan, Jaipur. Moving on. Yeah. So India's freedom will rest safe as long as journalists can speak to power without being chilled by a threat of reprisal. So this is a very important quote which we can use in ethics, essay, anywhere in GS2. Okay, so freedom of speech and expression. I think so. I'll just read the statement again. India's freedom will rest safe, okay, as long as journalists can speak to power without being chilled by a threat of reprisal. Okay, so in a writ petition seeking quashing of FIRs filed by Republic TV, that same Arnab Goswami, the SC ordered that to allow a journalist to be subjected to multiple complaints and to the pursuit of remedies traversing multiple states and jurisdiction when faced with successive FIRs and complaints bearing the same foundation has a stifling effect on the exercise of freedom. So basically, it is trying to directly tell that freedom of speech and expression you cannot take away. Simple as that. Okay. A bench of justices D.Y. Chandrachud and Shah further reiterated that decisions have held that the right of a journalist, okay, see here, the right of a journalist under Article 9 Clause 1A is no higher. Okay, this is no higher than the right of the citizens to speak and express. Okay, but the society must never forget that one cannot exist without the other, and free citizens cannot exist when the news media is chained to other to one position. So this line of thought, you must always remember that they're treating the right of journalist also as equal, to the right of citizen to speak and express. Right. So I think this line of thought we must keep in mind. It also declined to transfer the probe to CBI and said that the accused person does not have a choice in regard to the mode or manner in which the investigation should be carried out. Okay, fine. This is no that related to that no broad issue, but largely for this quote as a standalone thing is very impactful to quote in the exam, ethics essay anywhere, and then this thing also right of journalist. And if a question comes up on maybe freedom of press, and also we know that the press freedom index also we rank very low there also, in such context we must not hesitate to quote this line directly. Okay, so we'll moving on. So yeah, this is the last one about May. To constitute civil contempt, it must be established that disobedience is willful, deliberate, and with full knowledge of consequences. Okay, so it is not talking about what constitutes a civil contempt. So, three conditions to constitute a civil contempt. It must be established that the disobedience is willful. Willfully he has to disobey the thing order. It must be deliberate. He's doing it deliberately, like maybe the Prashant Bhushan thing, and with full knowledge. You must also have the consequences that what by disobeying what will happen. So these are three conditions which SE is telling constitutes a civil contempt. So it becomes important. Okay, so if you see SE declined to initiate civil contempt proceedings against FCI, observing that the alleged disobedience. So if you see, it has declined because it has found that this disobedience was neither willful nor deliberate. I think these three conditions we can remember: willful, no deliberate, and the consequences. Okay, so I don't know some mnemonic something we can make WDC or something. Okay, so CDW something, but we must remember these three conditions if they come up in the options or something, or if you have to write an exam also. This is 3 points. So a bench of justice so and so reiterated the precedent in this judgment, old judgment, okay, according to which willful disobedience of a contemner has to be established. Court observed that it is well settled. Okay, it is well settled. It's telling, it is a settled position that if the two interpretations are possible, and if the action is not contumacious, a contempt proceeding would not be maintainable. Okay, fine. I think this it is same position already reiterated that disobedience has to be willful, deliberate, and with full knowledge of consequences. So for this, I think the contempt again, yesterday's thing we must revise properly, especially focusing on this civil contempt thing. Okay, so moving on. So what is the time? Yeah, we still have 10 more minutes. Okay, so we have completed May. We'll move on to April. Okay, so starting from April, consider releasing children from observation homes on interim bail amid COVID 19. Okay, so I think this issue of juvenile is very much in news, and maybe that position where children are being misused in juvenile homes and they're not being taken care properly, all such things, all such issues come up here. So releasing children from observations home on interim bail. Okay, so this is again, as we know that bail is a norm and jail is exception. It applies here also. SC directs JJB, so Juvenile Justice Boards and Children Courts. So these two bodies become important for our revision, and the Juvenile Justice Act itself. Okay, in order to decongest. So if you see the broad context, in order to decongest childcare institutions. Okay, this I think has already come up in ethics case study. One such thing. In order to decongest childcare institutions in the wake of COVID pandemic, the bench of so and so directed juvenile justice boards and children courts. We must revise these two static aspects of these two JJBs and children courts to consider releasing all children alleged to be in conflict with law on temporary bail unless there is a clear and valid reason for the application of Section 12 of Juvenile Justice Act. Okay, so we must release them if you don't find them no properly. So a court had taken suo motu cognizance of the conditions of children protection homes. Okay, so it has taken this cognizance of child protection homes. Again, there is also overcrowding. If you see, like jails, there's overcrowding even in childcare institutions also across the country in the wake of COVID. It passed detailed directions to be implemented by each child welfare committees, juvenile justice boards, children courts, and childcare institutions. I think all these bodies become important from the static angle. So for this, Juvenile Justice Act broadly revision, childcare institutions, children court. I think static related to all this we must revise. Okay. So moving forward is very important. I think from this perspective. So if you see ex post facto environmental clearance unsustainable in law, I think at this time that environmental impact assessment issue was ongoing. So it has made a statement that ex post facto environmental clearance is unsustainable in law. It has told. So many people still the draft. It was in still draft stage. If you remember, even today it has not been passed. I think that latest AI.
Yeah.
Yeah. So some petition had gone or something, and in some judgment they have made a passing reference to that. It is told that a bench comprising so and so reiterated that the concept of ex post facto environmental clearance, okay, whatever they had proposed, is against the fundamental principle of environmental jurisprudence. This line we can always quote. Ex post facto doing approval is against this principle of environmental jurisprudence. Environment law cannot countenance the notion of an ex post facto clearance. This would be contrary to both the precautionary principle, as well as the need for sustainable development. I think this line also, if given opportunity, we must know make sure we can quote in such relevant answers. So, broad line of thought here is that principle of environmental jurisprudence, maybe precautionary principle, NGT, all such principles. We must revise NGT again. This is principles also, and sustainable development. Yeah, nothing much. Can move on. Okay. High Court can only exercise jurisdiction over state of which it is High Court. Ha, I think again, no, High Court's jurisdiction very much in use. So High Court can only exercise jurisdiction over the state. Yeah, I think this we know, right? Territorial jurisdiction of High Court. So
Mhm.
SE observed that the jurisdiction of a high court is limited to the territorial jurisdiction of the state of which it is the high court. Yeah, this is the standard line which we read in Lakshmikant. The bench of so and so made the observation while considering an appeal filed by Union of India against a Madras High Court judgment in which it issued a service matter, a direction which had a pan India effect. Yeah, I think no Madras High Court, no, some high courts do this. They try to give a pan India kind of ruling, but it is not applicable because it will have only a territorial limit of their ruling. So this we must know. Standard line of thought can come up as a statement in prelims. So for this again, jurisdiction of High Court, we must revise that component. Okay. Moving on. Governor can direct floor test even while the house is in session. So this, that Rajasthan issue was happening. So SC approves MP. Oh, sorry, Madhya Pradesh. It is Madhya Pradesh issue. SC approves MP governor's decision. So governor's powers, no, always controversial in news. So governor can direct floor test even while the house is in session. So this line of thought, that even while the house is in session, governor can direct floor test. So this dimension we must know. Yes, he can do so. While hearing a petition filed by Shivraj Singh Chauhan and other BJP leaders seeking immediate floor test. Okay, they were seeking immediate floor test. Following the resignation of no Congress MLAs, the bench comprising Justice so and so held that governor can direct the floor test even while the house. So this position it has clarified that yes, he can issue. The court therefore affirmed its order passed on this May 19 to hold floor test in the MP Assembly for proving the majority of the previous government. Okay, fine. Nothing much here. You can move on. You must remember governor's powers. Okay, governors. Not this. I think falls under the governor's discretionary powers and such things. So we must revise specifically
Yeah.
the governor's powers. Okay, and this latest line of thought that he can direct the floor test even while the house in session. Maybe some static aspects about floor test and such things we must revise. Okay, I'll move on.
Right.
So if you see next one, no reservation in promotion. Okay, no, this is the judgment. Okay, no reservation in promotion without examining adequacy of representation in promotional posts. So, no, a condition, they're putting a condition, okay, on reservation in promotion. They're putting a condition that you cannot do so without examining the adequacy of representation. So, if you see, this adequacy was a condition put by that judgment, this previous to this judgment, I think. So, I think it has reiterated the same. Following the principle,
Yes.
so following the principle that reservation in promotion cannot be granted, okay, cannot be granted without examining adequacy of representation in promotional posts. SC upheld the quashing of a resolution passed by Odisha government providing reservation for SC/ST in promotional posts in Odisha Administrative Service with consequence. So we know that broadly they can give, but they can give with this condition that they have to prove that it is they are not adequately represented. So we are giving them reservation in promotion also, right? So this is the old settled thing. This remains. So bench comprising so and so followed the law laid down in M Nagaraj. Okay, the Nagaraj thing, a famous judgment. And reiterated that state is not bound to make reservation for SC/ST Okay, state is not bound. Okay, it's saying state is not bound to make reservation for SCST in matters of promotion. It's trying to tell. However, if they wish to do so, okay, if they wish to do so, they have to collect the quantifiable data, show the backwardness of the class, and this is the third line: inadequacy of representation of that class in public employment. So these three points for consideration of reservation promotion we must always keep in mind. Quantifiable data should be there. They must be backward. We must prove that they are backward, and they are inadequately represented. So, I mean, this is the controversy that how will they prove this? This is the biggest question of center, always. Keeping in mind the maintenance of efficiency. This article is very important. Okay, 335. Always 335 is quoted because 335 talks about this thing that you have to maintain efficiency also. When you give promotion, you also have to take into consideration efficiency is also maintained. So this article becomes important because it tries to strike a balance between merit, efficiency, and this reservation also.
Even
So
B.R. Ambedkar also quoted about this.
this thing 335. Okay, you mean
Right, right.
okay, okay, fine. So this very important judgment with respect to reservation in promotion. So we'll move on. 100% ST reservation for teachers post in scheduled areas unconstitutional. Yeah, I think this had become a news, a major news, that in some state, which is the state? Okay, wait, let me read. A bench comprising so and so held that 100% reservation of teachers belonging to ST category. So they were in ST category, and which is the state? Andhra Pradesh. Andhra Pradesh. Okay, so 100% reservation of teachers belonging to ST category at schools in the scheduled areas is constitution invalid. So no, first of all, there's no concept of 100% reservation also, but they had given in this particular scheduled area, they had given this. So SC has declared it unconstitutional. Very important thing. A bench also quashed the government order issued under the hand of governor of state of Andhra Pradesh, which had affirmed absolute reservation. Okay, this is the thing, 100% thing, absolute reservation for ST teachers and imposed costs on Andhra Pradesh and Telangana governments, seeking reasons from the government for breaching the 50%. So again, the same Indira Sawhney line of thought that 50% remains. Okay, so you've breached that.
Right. Hmm.
In this case, they've breached the full limit. They've gone to 100% reservation. Scheduled areas, ST category, you cannot do so. Okay, so maybe for this we have to revise scheduled areas, how the static thing, fifth schedule, also thing we must revise for this. So moving on, state and center have concurrent powers to fix sugarcane price. Oh, I think we know, no, currently.
FRP. Huh.
Exactly. So center fixes FRP, and states also after that they do their own SAP, state advisory prices, which may be sometimes more. Okay. So because of the politics involved in sugar mills, so state and center have concurrent powers to fix sugar. So both can fix. No conflict if state price is higher than centers. So this is the case. Always now, if the state's price is higher than center, there's no conflict. So a constitutional bench comprising so and so held that both center and states have concurrent powers to fix the prices of sugarcane, and that the price fixed by the state government for, see this, you must observe this condition: price fixed by the state government for sugarcane cannot be lower than the minimum price fixed by center. So since it is concurrent, if center has set a base, you cannot go below this. This is the standard, always argument. It applies even here also, that if the sugarcane price cannot be lower than the minimum price fixed by center, so it cannot be less than FRP in simple sense, right? So the bench
Correct.
also put the conflict between the two judgments of the same strength to rest. If some old judgment is put to rest, concluding thereby that there existed no conflict between these two decisions, and there was no need for a reference to a seven-judge bench. Okay, fine, they've settled the matter. FRP is the base. States are free to set above it. So again, sugar pricing, we must revise, and maybe Rangarajan committee recommendations on sugar. He had given some detailed recommendations, so that we will revise for this. Okay. And maybe FRP issue also something related to it. So we'll move on. How much is there? Yeah, we finished off. So if you see a deemed university covered under Prevention of Corruption Act. Oh, so it is telling that even deemed university is covered. Nothing much here. So SC held that deemed university will come under the ambit of Prevention of Corruption Act. So and so set aside the judgment of High Court of Gujarat, which so Gujarat High Court had allowed the discharge of trustees of a deemed university from the prosecution. Gujarat had exempted that they don't belong to this, but SC has told that even they belong to Prevention of Corruption Act. So we must try to revise Prevention of Corruption Act and who all falls under jurisdiction of this act. And one addition is deemed university. Okay, the apex court observed that High Court was in fact incorrect in holding that a deemed university is excluded from the ambit of the term university. So if you see university is mentioned, but they were not clear about deemed university. So now it is clear that deemed university is also there. Okay, so nothing much here. Deemed university is part of Prevention of Corruption Act. So let us revise Prevention of Corruption Act once again. So moving on. So this fundamental right article has come up. Important. Article 30. Article 30 doesn't prevent state from imposing reasonable regulations to make administration of minority institutions transparent. So always, this 30 is used by minority institutions that we can do whatever we want. But as we know that no fundamental right is absolute. So state can regulate and put some reasonable restrictions. So this is the same thing. So using Article 30, state can impose certain regulations to make the administration of minority institutions transparent. So SC upheld the eligibility of validity of NEET for admissions to medical and dental courses. Okay, it has upheld NEET. A bench comprising so and so stated further restated the principles. See, it has restated the principles governing minority education institutions under Article 30 of the Constitution. Okay, it has just restated this, noting that right conferred on religious and linguistic minorities to administer educational institutions of their choice is not an absolute right and is not free of regulation from state. So this line of thought that state can regulate even minority, linguistic and religious minority institutions. So this line of thought we must remember. Okay, so you got this right. Article 30 doesn't prevent the state from imposing reasonable regulations to make administration of minority institutions transparent. You're there? Okay, thought you were not there. I'm audible, right? Hello, hello.
Yes.
Okay, fine. Okay, so for this, Article 30, we can just revise Article 30, and then nothing much. So state can regulate this. Okay, 30 is very important. Can come up directly. Okay, so we'll move on. I think the last one for today. So a citizen must have some standing knowledge, some standing or knowledge. Okay, so a citizen must have some standing or knowledge before questioning capability and integrity of a judge. So SC holds three people guilty for making guilty of contempt. Same thing, like contempt it is used now throughout there. I think it is using contempt powers. So SC holds three people guilty of contempt for making scandalous allegations against judges. Okay, so SC held that a judge, a citizen, must have some standing or knowledge before questioning the capability or integrity of a judge of a high court, and cautioned that a right to criticize judgments delivered by any court, including Supreme Court, does not encompass the right to question bona fides of a judgment or to raise questions with regard to their competence. So, this argument that the right to criticize judgments delivered by any court, including the Supreme Court, does not encompass the right to question the bona fides of a judge. So you cannot question that judge, has some bona fide, some interest in the case, or to raise questions with regard to their competence. Even their competence you cannot judge. So this is the thing. Citizens must have some standing or knowledge before questioning the capability and integrity of a judge. I mean, not so important, I feel. But for this, again, we must revise the contempt thing. Again, it is a news, so might come up something. So bench comprising so and so, and I think much okay. So we have completed. What's the time? Yeah, crossed 38. So we have completed. mm
I May, June, July.
May, June, and this is April, I think. Okay, so June there was only one. May we have done.
April. Yes.
Yeah, April we have done. Okay, so yeah, fine. We'll end for today. Okay. Okay. Bye.
Okay. Take care.